Ladies, listen up. Men are complicated creatures. Sometimes they hide their feelings behind jokes, pride, or even silence. But if you pay attention, there are signs, 5 unmistakable signs, that you've got him completely weak in the knees, even if he'll never admit it. First, notice how he's protective over you. I'm not talking about possessiveness or control. I'm talking about that quiet worry he shows when you're not around or when you're upset. He might brush it off with a joke, but inside, he's thinking about you, planning for you, wanting to make sure you're safe. That's a man who's weak for you. Ladies, let me tell you something about men. Some of y'all think men don't care, that they're cold, that they're all about themselves. But let me tell you, a man who is really in love, a man who is really affected by you, shows it in ways you might not even recognize at first. And one of the clearest signs that you've got him completely weak, even if he'll never say it, is how protective he is over you. I'm not talking about the kind of protection that smothers you or tries to control every move you make. No, I'm talking about the kind that comes from the heart, the kind that comes quietly, naturally, without needing an audience. A man who is weak for you will notice when you're uncomfortable, when you're upset, when you're stressed, and he'll act even in small ways without making a scene. That's love disguised as concern. Now, let's break this down a little. You might be out with friends, laughing, having a good time, and he's just watching. Maybe he doesn't say much. Maybe he even teases you. But deep down, he's noticing everything. He's noticing the way someone looks at you, the way the world interacts with you, and he's silently calculating, is this okay? Can she handle this? Do I need to step in? That right there, ladies, is the sign of a man who is powerless to stop himself from caring about you. And it doesn't always come with grand gestures. Oh no. Sometimes it's in the little thing. Maybe he calls you just to check if you got home safe and you're like, boy, why are you calling me? I'm fine. But here's the truth. He's thinking about you the moment you leave. He's replaying every step you take, making sure the world hasn't done you wrong. That's weakness, my sisters. That's a man completely captivated by you, even if he won't admit it out loud. Then there are the moments when he gets quiet. You know, the moments when he looks serious, thoughtful, like he's carrying the weight of something. That's not him being moody or distant. That's him thinking about how to keep you safe, how to protect you from things you don't even know you need protection from. He's thinking about your heart, your feelings, your comfort. And the fact that he doesn't tell you every thought, the fact that he keeps some of it to himself only makes it stronger. Is silent devotion, ladies. That's a man who is weak for you, and he can't ever say it because he's afraid words will cheapen what he feels. You'll see it when he offers help, when he's there before you even ask, when he notices the smallest signs that you need support. He doesn't need you to thank him. He doesn't need applause. He doesn't need anyone to notice. He's doing it because he cares more than he can articulate. And I promise you, if a man does this consistently, if he checks in, if he looks out for you quietly, if he positions himself in ways that keep you safe without making it about him, you've got him completely under your spell. He's weak, ladies, weak for you, powerless to resist caring, powerless to hide it entirely. So the next time you feel him hovering in that quiet, watchful way, don't dismiss it. That's not paranoia. That's love. That's his heart showing through, even when his mouth can't. That's the unmistakable, undeniable, can't hide it even if he wanted to. Weakness a man has for a woman he can't stop thinking about. That's the first sign that you've got him, ladies. And once you notice it, you start to see the other signs too. But this one, this protective instinct, that's the foundation. That's where his weakness starts. Second, pay attention to how much he values your opinion. When a man constantly asks what you think, listens carefully, and even acts on your advice, it's because you've got his respect and his heart. That's right. Respect and love go hand in hand. If he's doing this, know that you've made a serious impact on him. Ladies, let me tell you something. Some women think that if a man doesn't constantly say, "I love you," or shower you with compliments, he doesn't care. That's far from the truth. One of the clearest signs that you've got him weak, that he's completely powerless around you, is how much he values your opinion. And I don't mean this in a shallow, surface level way. I'm talking about that deep, genuine respect that comes when a man takes your thoughts seriously, when he listens to what you have to say, and when he lets your voice influence his decisions. That, ladies, is a man whose heart has no choice but to bend towards you, even if he'll never admit it. Think about it. Have you ever noticed a man who constantly asks for your input on things big and small? Maybe it's about a decision at work. Maybe it's about plans for the weekend, or maybe it's something as simple as what movie to watch. He could just make his own choice, right? But he doesn't. He pauses, he listens, he waits to hear what you think, and he actually cares about it. That is not coincidence. That is a man who respects you, who values you, who knows that your opinion matters more than his pride in this moment. And that, ladies, is a form of weakness, because he can't help but let you influence him. And it goes beyond just asking for your thoughts. Watch how he reacts when you share your ideas. Does he dismiss them, brush them off, or pretend he didn't hear you? No. A man who is weak for you listens attentively, remembers your words, and often acts on them without even announcing it. Maybe he won't say, "I did it because you told me to." But watch closely. When he uses your suggestions, when he applies your advice, that's his way of saying, "You matter to me more than I can say out loud." He's literally letting your influence shape his life quietly, secretly, because he can't resist what you bring to the table. And here's the part most women miss. Valuing your opinion is about respect as much as it is about love. It's him saying, without words, "I trust you. I trust your judgment. I see you as an equal partner in my life." That trust is powerful, ladies. That trust is magnetic. That trust is a weakness for him, because he knows deep down that your guidance, your wisdom, and your perspective are things he can't ignore. He's letting you have a piece of his world, even if he pretends like it's casual or unintentional. That is vulnerability in disguise. And vulnerability is a man's most honest sign of weakness. You'll notice it when he asks for your advice repeatedly, not because he's unsure, but because he genuinely wants your perspective. You'll notice it in the way he pauses, considers your words, and weighs them against his own thoughts before making decisions. He's creating space for your voice to exist in his world. And that, ladies, is no small thing. Men don't just let anyone in like that. When a man allows your thoughts to influence him, when he adjusts his life based on what you think, he's showing a level of surrender that words can't capture. So pay attention to this, ladies. If he values your opinion, listens, remembers, and acts on it, even in the smallest ways, you've got him completely under your spell. He's weak for you. He can't resist letting you shape his decisions, his perspective, his life. And the beauty of it is, he might never say it, but his actions speak louder than any words ever could. That's a man who's captivated, who's powerless, and who's falling for you without ever having to admit it. Third, notice the way he smiles at you. Not just any smile, but that goofy, offbeat grin that appears when he sees you doing something simple, laughing, being yourself, talking to someone else. That smile is a secret admission that you've got him wrapped around your finger. Ladies, let me tell you something about men and their smiles. You see, men don't always say what's in their hearts. A lot of times, they hide it behind jokes, teasing, or even silence. But if you pay attention, there's one thing you can't fake: how a man reacts to you when he thinks you're not paying attention. I'm talking about those little moments, those tiny expressions that give away the truth. And one of the clearest signs that you've got a man completely weak for you is the way he smiles, the way he reacts to the little things you do. That smile, ladies, is a silent confession. Now, don't confuse it with just any smile. I'm not talking about the polite smile he gives someone across the room. I'm talking about the goofy, offbeat, almost uncontrollable grin that lights up his face when he sees you doing something simple, laughing at a joke, talking to someone else, showing your joy. That smile is like a window to his soul. It's the part of him that says, I'm yours, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. And let me tell you, men can try to hide it all they want, but when a woman has them completely weak, their smiles give them away every single time. Think about it. You ever catch a man looking at you and then suddenly his face softens, or he can't help but grin a little too wide, maybe even chuckle nervously? That's not random. That's not coincidence. That's him trying to play it cool while every fiber of his being is reacting to you. And it's beautiful, ladies, because it's raw, it's real, and it's completely honest. A man who is weak for you can't fully control that response. He might try to hide it behind a joke or a sarcastic comment, but that smile, that subtle twitch of delight tells the truth he can't say out loud. And it's not just smiles. Watch how he reacts in small moments, the way his eyes light up when you walk into a room, the way he leans just a little closer when you speak, the way he laughs louder at your jokes than anyone else's. Those little seemingly insignificant gestures are his way of saying, you've got me and there's nothing I can do about it. Women often overlook these signals because they're subtle, but they're stronger than any verbal declaration a man could make. That's weakness. That's a man powerless around you because he can't hide his admiration and affection, even if he tries. And here's the kicker. This isn't about control or manipulation. It's about genuine emotion breaking through the walls he's built. Men, especially proud men, don't always express vulnerability with words. Pride gets in the way. Ego gets in the way. But smiles, reactions, and those small, unguarded moments, they don't lie. That's why if you pay attention, you'll see a pattern. The way he reacts around you is different from anyone else. He's gentler, more playful, more attentive. He's letting you into his inner world, even if only in these fleeting moments. So, ladies, next time you notice that smile, the one that sneaks up when you least expect it, or the way his whole demeanor shifts around you, don't dismiss it. That's a man showing his weakness, his silent surrender. He may never say, I'm captivated by you, but you'll see it in every grin, every chuckle, every little glance. That's power, ladies. The power of knowing a man is completely enchanted, completely powerless, and completely yours without ever having to utter a single word. That smile is his confession, and if you're paying attention, it'll tell you everything you need to know. Fourth, watch how he prioritizes you even when he's busy. He may not say it out loud, but if he cancels plans or rearranges his schedule to spend time with you, it's because your presence matters more to him than he's willing to admit. That's weakness, ladies, because he's choosing you over comfort. Ladies, I need you to understand something about men. Men will tell you all kinds of things, but what really shows you where a man stands is not what he says, it's what he does. And one of the clearest signs that you've got a man completely weak for you is how he prioritizes you even over his own comfort. Now, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean he's perfect, and it doesn't mean he's going to bend over backwards in a crazy, over-the-top way all the time. I'm talking about the little things, the subtle choices he makes every day that show you where your place is in his world. If a man is adjusting his schedule, moving things around, or giving up a little comfort just to be near you, to spend time with you, or to make sure you're okay, you better recognize it, because that right there is weakness, and it's powerful. Think about it. A man could choose to relax after work, to go hang out with his friends, to do whatever he wants. But if he sees that you need him, even in a small way, and he chooses you, that's a man completely captivated. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he's had a long day. Maybe he's got a million things on his mind, but when he puts you first, even for a little moment, that's his heart speaking louder than words ever could. He may not say, I'm choosing you over everything else, but his actions are screaming it. Women don't ever overlook that. That's weakness, the kind that makes a man powerless around you, because he can't resist putting you first. And it's not just about big sacrifices either. Sometimes it's the tiny things, the things that go unnoticed by everyone else. Maybe he cancels his plans to see you, or maybe he drives out of his way just to make sure you're comfortable. Maybe he even remembers that you wanted something done a certain way and he takes the extra step to make it happen. These aren't just favors, these are his priorities, shifting subtly, quietly, because you matter to him more than his own convenience. That right there, ladies, is the kind of weakness that speaks volumes, even if he'll never admit it. You'll see it in the way he makes time for you, even when he's busy. Men are creatures of routine, and they guard their time carefully. But when a man is weak for you, he will make adjustments without hesitation. He will find a way to be there, to show up, to make your presence a priority in his life. And the beauty of it is, he doesn't need to announce it. He doesn't need a medal or a thank you note. He does it quietly, consistently, because your happiness, your comfort, your well-being has become more important than his ease. That, ladies, is love in motion. And let's not forget the emotional side of it. Prioritizing you isn't just about rearranging schedules. It's about emotional energy, about showing up for you even when it's inconvenient, about listening when he's tired, about supporting you even when he'd rather rest. That is the kind of sacrifice that a man doesn't announce. That is the kind of devotion that shows true weakness, the kind that proves he's completely captivated by you. So, ladies, if you notice a man consistently putting you first, even when it costs him a little comfort or convenience, don't dismiss it. That's not just kindness. That's a sign of weakness, the beautiful, silent, undeniable kind that shows he is powerless to resist you. He may never say it, but his choices, his actions, and the way he prioritizes you tell you everything you need to know about how much you mean to him. That is the proof of a man completely enchanted, completely captivated, and completely yours, even if he will never say it out loud. Fifth, notice how he remembers the little thing. Maybe it's your favorite coffee, a song you mentioned once, or a small detail about your family. He may never say, I remember because I love you, but trust me, he does. That's his silent confession. He's powerless around you. Ladies, I want you to pay close attention because this one right here is subtle, but it's one of the clearest signs that a man is completely weak for you, even if he will never say it. I'm talking about how he remembers the little things. Now, don't get me wrong. Men are forgetful by nature. Sometimes they forget birthdays. Sometimes they forget what they had for breakfast. But when a man is truly captivated, truly powerless around a woman, he remembers. He remembers the things you said once and never thought anyone would pay attention to. That, ladies, is weakness. And it's one of the most powerful signs that you've got him wrapped around your finger. Think about it. Maybe you mentioned in passing that you like a certain kind of coffee or a particular flower. Maybe you told him your favorite song or shared a story about your childhood. Most men wouldn't even register it. They'd nod politely, let it slide, and move on. But not this man. He stores it in that brain of his somewhere, and when the time comes, he acts on it. Maybe he surprises you with that coffee just because he remembered, or he sends you that song when you least expect it. That is his heart showing through in silence, and that is weakness in its purest form. And it's not just the tangible things, it's the emotional details too. He remembers your moods, the little things that make you smile, the things that irritate you, the way your eyes light up, when you're excited about something. He notices your laughter, the way you tilt your head when you're thinking, the subtle things that make you uniquely you. And he acts on it, not to manipulate, not to impress, but because he genuinely cares. That is a man completely captivated, powerless to ignore the details that make you who you are. What's beautiful about this is that it's consistent. It's not a one-time fluke. It's a pattern. The man who remembers the small things is showing you over and over that you matter more than the rest of the world. He could easily forget, overlook, or dismiss the details, but he doesn't. He holds them close because you become significant in his life, and he can't help but show it even in the tiniest gestures. That is weakness, ladies, the kind that makes a man powerless around you, even if he'll never admit it in words. And here's the thing women often miss. It's not about grand romantic gestures or flashy displays. You don't need a man to tell you I love you 1,000 times a day if he remembers the little things. His memory, his attention to detail, his thoughtfulness in moments when no one is watching, that's louder than any words could ever be. That's the confession he can't make out loud. The admission that he's completely captivated and completely enchanted by you. So, ladies, pay attention to the small signs. Notice the little gestures, the subtle acts of thoughtfulness, the way he incorporates what you've said into his life. That is proof, silent and undeniable, that he is weak for you. A man who remembers the little things cannot hide his affection, cannot hide his attention, and cannot hide the fact that you have completely captured his heart. He may never say it, but his actions, his memories, his thoughtfulness, they tell the story more clearly than any words ever could. That is love, ladies. That is power, and that is weakness all rolled into one. And it is yours to recognize if you're paying attention. Ladies, the truth is, men don't always say what's in their hearts. Pride, fear, or ego might stop them from speaking. But actions? Oh, actions don't lie. If you see these 5 signs, you've got a man who is completely captivated by you, even if he'll never tell you. And that, my sisters, is true power.